Yeah, so let's kind of talk about raising money, and I'm going to start with you this time, Vamesh. So there are a lot of us out here who have got the garlands ready in our hand. Okay, the problem is we don't have any net to put it on to. So let's kind of talk about that middle category of companies, right? Where it is not, it's not a stress case to a point where you don't want. It's not as if you got to shut it down. Equally, these companies don't have balance sheets where they can go out and raise debt comfortably, right? So generally, what is it that you're seeing in the market? These companies in middle, are they able to go out and raise debt, raise equity, venture debt? And if yes, I mean, how are especially the equity or venture debt providers? How are they thinking about valuations? I mean, how do you typically value a company at this kind of a juncture?
See, my comments will be largely from a healthcare pharmaceuticals point of view, given the fact that that is a sector focused fund that I run. And I'm in a fortunate position today that we did our first close of our fund, which is an overall 150 plus million dollar aggregating to max of $200 million. We did our first close of $70 million, and we are sitting on $70 million of dry powder. So we are actively looking at investments in the pharmaceutical, healthcare services, and the domain specifically. Coming to your question about the fact that, and therefore we have capital. Are we actively looking at transactions? We damn well are actively looking at transactions. Actually, we've given out, just on the eve of this closure, we gave out a term sheet and we continue to maintain and support that term sheet. We, because our investment horizon is typically a 4 to 5 year horizon. To me, the next 6 months, next 12 months won't matter. And therefore, I continue to back the businesses that we are invested in existing, except for the third category of companies that I mentioned, where I will be very, very ruthless about. But new businesses that we are looking at, we are willing to look at giving capital. So I've given out a term sheet for a services company, services and manufacturing company. They make chemical reagents, diagnostic equipment, etc. There's another business that we are currently very actively focusing on in the e-health space, because thanks to COVID, there's been, in fact, this was a transaction we've been looking at for the last 3 months before COVID also. It's just that the momentum has now got sort of accelerated, and we are very keenly looking at that category. We put hospitals on hold for the moment, not to say that we are not looking at, because there's a reason why we have put on hold, because we see the dynamic out there undergoing a significant change, principally because our focus was largely on super specialty as a category, and super specialty as a hospital, which we thought would be a good secular trend on a long-term basis, has got disrupted with COVID, whereby a lot of the super specialty hospitals largely have elective procedures. And elective procedures have virtually come to a halt across the country. And with the result, a lot of these two deals, in fact, we were looking at, have gone into a bit of a hold for the moment, because their revenues fell off the cliff. In one particular company case, there is a significantly large debt overhang which they were trying to address. And now that is becoming a challenge to service. And we see that risk of it slipping into an NPA. And therefore, my valuations for this sector, the hospital services sector, are getting derated downwards, and which is not something entrepreneurs are willing to accept today. And therefore, to that extent, that space is currently on hold, if I may use that word. The API, active pharmaceutical ingredients, and those categories of spaces, we continue to look at. We are actively engaging in a dialogue on one particular company. So if you ask me, I think pharmaceutical healthcare sector overall, also everybody is in the market saying that is going to see a significant amount of soft landing compared to the NBFC sector, or the banking sector, or the consumer sector. And therefore, we are in a good space as a fund. But at the same time, we will be very careful in terms of the kind of bets we pick. But the best part is, this is the best time for us to be investing our money, because we are not going to be potentially paying up for valuations which are not sustainable. And at the same time, we got to be damn careful that we back businesses and entrepreneurs, more importantly, entrepreneurs who have the vision and the capability to scale. Because, like I said, I'm looking at something in the e-pharmacy. Believe you me, I've got 10 proposals in e-pharmacy sitting on my desk, and each of them talking to us. And this is the time when maximum mistakes also will be made, not on valuations, but in terms of the pick that we do, the kind of investment we pick that we make.